Hey, welcome everyone. Look, I know options can feel, well, incredibly complex, but what if they didn't have to be? Today, we're going to break it all down and demystify the whole world of options trading by taking a simple tour of a playground. Yep, you heard me right. So come on, let's dive in. So let's just start with this one simple idea. I want you to forget all the crazy charts, all the jargon, just for a moment. Instead, just imagine that every single core concept in options trading has a real-world counterpart that, honestly, you already get. That's the entire goal today, to make this stuff finally click. All right, so our first stop on this tour is right where all the action is, the main attractions. We're talking about the swings and the teeter-totters. You gotta understand these two first, because they're the absolute foundation of everything else. This is where it all begins. First up, the call option. Now, the single most important word on this screen is right. Seriously, this means you have the choice, but you're not forced to do anything. You don't have an obligation. All you're doing is buying the right to purchase something later, at a price you lock in today. It's kind of like putting a reservation down on an asset you think is going to go up. So, how do we picture this? Easy. Think of a swing set. When a stock price starts to go up, the value of your call option swings right up there with it. They move together, right? It's what we call a positive correlation. The higher that stock swings, the higher your call options value can climb. It's that simple. Stock up, call up. Now, let's walk over to the other main attraction, the put option. This is basically the mirror image of a call. It's a contract that gives you the rights, there's that word again, but not the obligation, to sell an asset at a price you've already agreed on. You can almost think of it like an insurance policy. And the perfect analogy for this? A teeter-totter. You know how it works. When one side goes down, the other side has to go up. It's exactly the same with a put option. As the stock price goes down, the value of your put goes up. They move in opposite directions. That's a negative correlation. So remember, stock down, put up. Okay, so let's just put it all together real quick. On one side of the playground, you've got the swing set. That's your calls moving with the stock. On the other side, you've got the teeter-totter, your puts moving against the stock. Getting this fundamental difference down is truly the first giant step. Now that we've got a handle on the main attractions, we need to talk about the rules of the playground. Come on, every playground has them, right? There are these unseen forces, like gravity and time, that affect how you play. And believe me, in the world of options, it's no different. So the first, and maybe the most important of these unseen forces, is something called time decay. The fancy name for it is theta. And it's really just a simple fact. Options have an expiration date. And as that date gets closer and closer, the option just naturally loses a little bit of its value, assuming nothing else changes. This is a constant, unavoidable force always working in the background. You want to know the best way to picture this? Think of a melting ice cube. See, every option has a little bit of extra value. We call it extrinsic value, and it's basically based on how much time is left. And just like an ice cube on a hot summer day, that value is slowly, steadily melting away, and it trips faster and faster as you get closer to expiration. Time is always ticking. The other big unseen force is probability. Look, smart trading is not about staring into some crystal ball. No way. It's about being more like a meteorologist. A weather forecast might say there's a 90% chance of sunshine, right? Now, could it still rain? Yeah, of course. But over time, if you consistently bet on the 90% chance, you're going to come out way ahead. It's all about playing the odds, not trying to predict the future. Okay, so we've covered the equipment and we know the rules. Now for the big question. How do we actually play the game? And this brings us to the Smart Trader's Playbook, which you'll see is way less about making wild guesses and a whole lot more about building a structured business. I want you to completely forget about high-risk gambling. Instead, think about this like you're running a simple wholesale business. First, you buy your inventory at one price. That's your first option. Then, you immediately pre-sell that inventory to a buyer at a slightly higher price. That's your second option. When you use a strategy like a debit spread, your risk is defined from the get-go, and your potential profit is locked in before you even start. And this, right here, is the core idea. I really want you to let this sink in. It is a complete and total mindset shift. You're not swinging for the fences, trying to hit a home run on every single trade. Nope. You're a business owner. You're managing inventory and defining your profit window from the very beginning. This all leads to one absolutely crucial mindset shift. You want to trade like the casino, Not like the gambler. Think about it. A casino knows for a fact it's going to lose individual hands of blackjack. They don't sweat it. And why? Because they know that over thousands and thousands of hands, their small, built-in mathematical edge is going to guarantee them a profit. And the difference is just, it's night and day. The gambler, they're focused on a single bet. Their goal is a home run, and their method is basically just guessing. The casino, on the other hand, focuses on volume, tons of hands. Their goal is just to play their small edge, and their method is pure math. That's the difference between amateur speculation and professional, probability-based trading. So let's bring it all back to the playground one last time. What have we learned? Options are not lottery tickets. They are simply tools. That's it. They can be reservations on value, like for a house. They can act like insurance policies, just like for your car. They are absolutely melting ice cubes, where time is a huge factor, and most importantly, they can be the foundation of structured businesses. And that pretty much completes our tour of the options playground. You've seen the equipment, you know the rules of the game, so the only question left is, how are you going to choose to play? Will it be like a gambler, hoping for the best? Or will it be like the house, with an edge? The choice is yours.